0.4%, while spending increased 0.2%, both stronger than expected. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Meta has agreed to pay $17 billion and add stronger child safety measures to its Facebook and Instagram platforms. That's part of a landmark legal settlement. On Wall Street, it was a slow day. At the closing bell, the Dow was down by 113 points. The NASDAQ lost 21. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Could have some overnight storms. It'll stay cloudy with a low temperature of 72. Tomorrow, much like today, mostly cloudy conditions. A 40% chance we get thunderstorms in the afternoon and early evening. The high tops out at 89. Friday, our rain chance increases to 60% throughout the day, a high of 88. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point. The Point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sports Talk Media Network here on a Wednesday. We get over the hump Wednesday night. We are on the road. Last stop of the Palmetto Pigskin Tour for 2026. This is stop number 13. We are at Erskine College in Due West. And I tell you what, using my GPS, I got a really good look at the backwoods of South Carolina on my way up here. I'm telling you, I think the next governor, who's our next governor? Alan Wilson, probably.
Looks like it, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest that he build an interstate to Due West. Interstate, well, we got 20, 26. How about 28? Just call it.
Well, can't you get off 26, go through Greenwood, and get to Due West a whole lot easier than what you tried to do today?
Probably. I got off in Newberry.
Considering it, I've told you the last time you called me, if we lost connection, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah.
I never heard back from Phil again.
I mean, I really typically you go up 34 and you end up going through 96 and up around Abbeville. This took me entirely, the GPS took me entirely through back roads. I mean, like, I didn't go through until I got to Hodges. I had no idea where I was, and got to Hodges and I guess made a left. Didn't come through Donald's, came through Hodges there. And anyway, we made it. Came through some rain, came through a little rainstorm, but we made it, and we're here to visit with the Flying Fleet, the Erskine Flying Fleet, Coach Shep Boyd, and had a tough year last year, looking to bounce back from that. Had one win last season. But, I mean, this is no compensation. They did have some close losses where they might have won 3 or 4 more games. Still, it's all about what's on the left side of the ledger, and one win didn't make them happy. But they're making some progress up here. I see, they've got a football building, and they are still playing at Dixie High, which is like, 500 yards from the campus practically. Hit it with a driver and a 3-wood. And I'm sure they've got plans for doing more eventually on campus for their football program. So we will talk with the coach about that a little bit after 7. Then a couple of players will be joining us, offensive lineman Hart Cushman and linebacker Gary Maddox, who was the Football Scholar Athlete of the Year in Conference Carolinas last season. So not only a good football player, but a very good student. So that'll be coming up a little bit after 7 o'clock. We'll hear more from South Carolina and Clemson people tonight. South Carolina's coordinators made their appearance today, and we're going to hear a little bit from Kendall Briles talking about the Gamecock offense, which, Bergie, I think if the offensive line, and who knows who's going to be on that offensive line, it's anybody's guess right now, really, who's going to be the starting five and where they're going to start, because they've moved guys all around, left tackle, right tackle, guards, moved guys from guards to center, and trying to find that right combination. If that group comes together, is it possible to take a group of total strangers? I mean, Shed Surratt right now is about the only one in the mix on the offensive line who's been around. Everybody else is either a free agent acquisition or a high school player. He's the only one that's played. You could start 5 brand new people on that offensive line this season. What's the percentage? What's the likelihood of a group like that being able to come together? I guess it's fortunate they'll have a couple of preseason games before they get into the regular season.
Yeah. Well, and I think you also run into a situation now that there is no spring transfer portal window open, that these guys, for the most part, have been able to be around one another for a little bit longer than they might have been in years past. And Bryles was asked, obviously, that was one of the big questions he was posed today about the offensive line, and not just 5, Phil. They're talking about possibly being able to roll 7 or 8 guys out there to play offensive line. You have to have that kind of depth, and that's what he's trying to develop. Though he said they've got competition in a lot of the spots, but he likes what he's seen thus far. Now they still got about 8 more days of really getting into the meat of things to get ready. But if you're honest with yourself, they've got about 20 or so days to get ready for Mississippi State.
Right. I think the last thing that the Gamecocks need to do is have any sort of struggle against these first 2 teams. I mean, they need to come out, mop them up, get a lot of players in, play 80 to 90 players. No sense sitting anybody out because you don't know. You sit them out. I mean, I think the days of that redshirting is pretty much gone by the boards now. You redshirt a guy, there's no guarantee you're going to have next year. So
and really
you might as well try and get them on the field and use them, huh?
And there's really no reason to, now that everybody has 5 years to play 5. Just run them out there. If they only play 20 snaps, okay, fine. We'll see what we can do with them next season. And one of the things, he was actually posed that question today too, and you'll hear it a little bit later on. I don't want to steal all of his thunder, but he was asked about you get these kind of tune-up games, and fans always come away if the offense only scores about 24 points or so. The easy answer, well, we held stuff back. And he said, goodness gracious, no. We are trying to win a football game, and we're going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Kent State to win a football game. So I kind of like that approach. I always thought that was a pretty lousy excuse for fans while the offense struggled, but they were saving stuff for next week or the week after. Kendall Bryles does not approach things that way.
Yeah. Then again, I mean, that's coach speak. He's going to say that. Sure. But, I mean, if they go out and post 28 in the first quarter on Kent State, you're not going to go deep into your bag of tricks.
Yeah.
You got to say some stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to say some stuff. And then Towson should be an even greater beatdown. I mean, these first 2 games, the Gamecocks offense, they should put enough points on the board to skew their stats where they'll look good for about this first 6 or 7 weeks of the season. Really, they should have 100 points coming off these first 2 games and about 450 yards each, and that'll carry you because things will get tightened up when you play Mississippi State and Kentucky and then Alabama. The stats are going to change when you get to those games, so you need to pad. It's called padding the stats against teams like that. Now up Clemson way. News came out this morning. Our man up there, one of our men up there, Grayson Mann, broke the story this morning on TigerNet that suspended defensive tackle Vic Burley received a conditional discharge in his disorderly conduct case. Now, my first thought on that was a conditional discharge. That sounds like a medical issue, but no, it has to do with the law. You ever had a conditional discharge before, Bert?
I have not.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I've tried to stay on the right side of the law and not have to deal with that kind of stuff.
No, I was talking about physically.
Yes, no.
So, anyway, a conditional discharge. He'll be required to take multiple classes, complete 24 hours of community service, and he'll be under court supervision for 6 months. You have a little bit more detail on exactly what went down on Saturday morning, don't you, in that particular case?
Just the police report that came out the other day is what I saw. He was arrested for having fallen asleep in the car, and there was smell of marijuana, and what they found a gun in his car, the whole 9 yards. And then evidently there was also another student that had fallen, if I remember the story correctly, had fallen asleep in the grass and Burley was asleep in the car. This person was out in the grass waiting, evidently for Vic to take him home. So probably a good idea that didn't happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say to me that the most worrisome thing to me would be the gun. Having a Glock. Do they say if it was loaded? Having a Glock, why would you have a Glock? Why would you have a gun in your car, in your possession? Does he have a CWP? So I don't know. Those are questions that we haven't seen anything asked of, or there's been no Clemson media this week. It was a good time for this to happen for Clemson because Dabo Swinney doesn't have to face anybody to answer any questions. I think the next time he meets the media outside of his radio show Monday night is going to be next Tuesday, going into game week. So, you certainly expect more of a guy that's been in your program like that, not to go out and get hammered with his friends getting hammered. It's embarrassing. It's a bad look. Did they do enough here? Does this, this is handled by the Clemson campus police department, I believe, the ones that, handled this arrest. And people always look at situations at Clemson with the police department there with a jaundiced eye. It's like, they get all kind of breaks up there. It's always been the complaints of Gamecock fans. They get all kind of breaks up there. But, look, Clemson had a couple of players racing down the highway there and crashed, almost killed a woman, severely injured a woman. What happened to the players? They were charged with misdemeanors. The cops said that's all they could charge them with, misdemeanors. That was according to state law. But the football program didn't kick them off the team. They were still on the team. Moving forward, they might have been suspended. They never even announced – I don't think they announced any sort of penalties. They might have had some internal stuff going on and held them out of games for a little bit. But I don't recall any public announcement of a penalty. My point is, is this too soft on Vic Burley? Had they gone too soft in this particular case? I mean, a gun. They found him with a gun in his car, and the gun apparently was out. The gun was on the seat of the car. It wasn't like it was in the glove box or in the trunk or something. I mean, what was that all about? Shouldn't there be some questions about that?
No, those are fair questions to ask, and I pulled up the story with the police report. Basically, according to Clemson University, police officers found a student lying on the grass beside a running truck on Calhoun Drive at 2:15 a.m. The student said that he had been waiting on his friend to arrive, and that truck belonged to his friend. I'm assuming the one that Burley was in. The student said that his friend was to give him and his fiancée a ride home as they had been drinking. Officers said that when they looked through the dark-tinted rear passenger window of the car, they saw the right shoulder of Vic Burley asleep in the driver's seat. After opening the driver's door, police said that they detected a strong odor of marijuana. When he did not respond to the door being open, police woke him up and asked him to step out of the truck. He was unsteady on his feet and left his left shoe in the truck. He spoke with slurred speech and seemed disoriented, initially handing his wallet to an officer when asked to provide his ID. Slow to respond and dragged out his answers. His truck was also parked unevenly in a parking space and blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to the point. He was arrested, charged with public disorderly conduct. During a search of his truck, officers found a THC vape and a Glock 19 handgun. Now, my question is, Phil, if you're behind the wheel of a car and clearly he was impaired, why this wasn't a DUI?
Yeah. And why is the charge being softened here a couple of days later?
If the car is not on, I don't think it can be a DUI. Or if the keys
but
are
how
not
did
in
the car
his
get
possession.
there?
Well,
The car was running, wasn't it? Didn't they say the car was running?
It was parked unevenly.
No, but it was running. I thought I read in the police report. Go back and look. I thought I read in the police report that the car was the truck. Was it a truck or a car? The engine was. Look and see. Did it not say the engine was running when the officers arrived?
It doesn't say in what I'm reading here.
Yeah.
But again, it had to get there.
Yeah. I'm pretty
but
sure.
Josh brings up a good point. If it's not moving,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm asking because I don't
what is
know.
what is the disorderly conduct? I mean, if you're flat out drunk asleep in your own car, you're taking a nap. What is the disorderly conduct? You're not out bouncing around on the street or messing with anybody. You're inside your own. I mean, yeah, you parked funny. I mean, a disorderly conduct charge. I don't think he was in anybody's face or causing a scene or anything, from what I can tell. Where the disorderly, maybe that's why they dropped the charge to something lighter here, because the disorderly conduct charge didn't fit, wasn't the proper charge. Could that be possible?
Again, yeah, possibly, Phil. We need to have a full-time attorney now on with us here on Sports Talk, because unfortunately during talking season, the majority of stuff we need to get squared away is not just police activity, it's NIL activity. We need to have some sort of attorney who can handle all these different things for us to answer all these questions.
Yeah, well, he does remain suspended by Clemson. Chapel Fowler with the update. Burley is still indefinitely suspended from the team per a spokesman. Dabo Swinney issued the suspension after he was arrested on Saturday for public disorderly conduct. There's no change in Burley's status after his conditional discharge today. So I really thought that this would lead to a dismissal, especially with the gun situation. But, hey, it is what it is. Maybe they overcharged him, and they reduced that charge with a conditional discharge. Well, I guess they didn't reduce the charge. They just, conditional discharge. That's like, I mean, I guess he's discharged as long as he's like good behavior, I guess, right? As long as he doesn't get in any other trouble.
That's correct. If he meets all those obligations, including the community service and that type of thing that he has to do, I'm assuming that's why the conditional, that word is attached to whatever charge this is.
Yeah. All right, on to other things. Speaking of Clemson, their women's basketball standout, Maya Moore, has retained counsel in pursuit of regaining her eligibility, and guess who she's hired? Ta-da-ta-da! Darren Heitner, who says he's proud to represent Maya. Is it Maya or Mia? Maya Moore. The NCAA denied her waiver based on a roughly 1-minute appearance made while recovering from a documented ulnar nerve injury after she had told her trainer that she didn't feel ready. So in other words, sounds like she's saying she went into a game, was put into a game when she wasn't ready, went in for a minute. That counted as an appearance and cost her eligibility, he's arguing. So he is going to be representing her. I guess she's still at Clemson. I don't think she's gone anywhere else at this point in time. Chad Holbrook has hired his son, Reese Holbrook, as an assistant coach, director of player development at the College of Charleston. And former Clemson basketball guard Butta Johnson headed to Virginia Tech. How about that? Now you're going to have to play him.
I have to see him again, yeah.
You're going to have to play him. When he gets hot, he is smooth as butter. He can flat out nail it. And got a very sad story coming out of the Low Country.
Yeah, this was horrible.
From Scott Iceberg, Channel 4. Baptist Hill, rising star offensive lineman Jaden Odom. He died in a house fire early Tuesday morning in Hollywood. 15 years old. They are still planning on playing this Friday. Coach Marion Brown said they came together and decided to dedicate this season to him. So that is very, very heartbreaking news there to see a young man lose his life
at
just 15 years old.
Yeah.
Jaden Odom from Baptist Hill High School.
I don't know
Okay.
who they play this weekend, but I hope they win by 50.
Yeah. Be a great way to dedicate it to the young man.
Yeah. 57,
Okay, we'll hit the
actually.
break. Yeah, that's his number. We'll hit the break. We'll be back with more from here at Erskine. Don't go away.
Earned history. Chased glory. Lived consequences. 500 miles against the Lady in Black. A NASCAR Crown Jewel Too Tough to Tame Labor Day Weekend Classic. The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
This is Major Billy Downer with the Department of Natural Resources, and I've got a message for all of our hunters out there. When you go afield, always make sure to positively identify your target. Know the identifying features of the game you're hunting, and know what's beyond your target in case you miss. If you want more information on hunter education, visit dnr.sc.gov or join us on Wednesday nights for SC Wild.
You can listen to SC Wild on the Sports Talk Media Network or at dnr.sc.gov/podcasts.
In 2012, inside Clemson football's weight room, a different kind of barbell was developed. The Tsunami Bar is a flexible, oscillating bar designed to enhance high-intensity training while helping reduce joint stress. Unlike traditional rigid bars, it moves. That movement forces your stabilizer muscles to activate, your core to engage, and your body to produce force more efficiently. The result is improved strength, better balance, and more functional performance. Tsunami Bar Sports continues to provide innovative, dynamic training solutions that empower individuals of all fitness levels to reach their peak potential. Whether you're training for general fitness, building resilience, or improving rotational strength for sports like golf, the Tsunami Bar challenges your body in ways traditional equipment cannot. Learn more at TsunamiBarSports.com.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, here to share some great news. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, can now be used for a lifetime of learning. From K through 12 to college and beyond, saving tax-free for your child or grandchild's education has never been easier. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax-deductible and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Media Network. Tonight up at Erskine College, home of the Flying Fleet. We are inside the Hall of Fame room in the gym here at Erskine. They've done entirely, they've entirely, let's see if we can spit this out. They have redone in its entirety the basketball playing surface. New wood, new paint going down on the floor. It's going to be very nice. Brand new hardwood in the gym here at Erskine. And, good new feeling. They're hoping the same thing for this football season. Erskine will be opening up their season this weekend. They will be playing Bluefield University in Bluefield, Virginia. They'll be one of the state schools getting underway. Bluefield University, Bluefield, Virginia. Then they will play at Thomas University in Thomasville, Georgia. Then home for a couple of games against Brevard and Shorter. Then a trip to Valdosta, and then a trip to Pembroke, and then a trip to Chowan. So they play kind of a tough little start there. 5 of their first 7 are on the road. They will finish up with 2 of their last 3 at home, Ferrum and Barton at home, with a trip to North Greenville in between. So we'll have Coach in here with us, a couple of players in here with us a little bit after 7 o'clock. Phone number, if you'd like to join us, 888-898-2525, South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to reach us here on Sports Talk. Don't forget you can learn more about the lottery's impact at sceducationlottery.com/education wins, and playing for fun is a win for education. If you'd like to text us instead of call us, and we got a bunch of text messages to dive into. The text line number is 803-900-4847. And it's brought to you by Larry Lucas State Farm Agency. Larry's been taking care of people across the state for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. LarryLucasAgency.com, online, or a phone call, 803-799-1998, the Columbia office. The Lexington office at 5370 Sunset Boulevard, 803-359-0770. So the situation now with pro players, NFL players, coming back and playing college, that situation is still ongoing. Nothing has been, even though the SEC Big Ten came out with their positions yesterday, I imagine the ACC and the Big 12, did they come out with anything today? I've been traveling.
The ACC, I think the only thing that it is lacking is approval by the Atlantic Coast Conference Board, and the Big 12 is doing the same. Ultimately, all four of those conferences are going to come out with some sort of rule that you cannot have former pro players on your roster. Now, what that means moving past that is anybody's guess.
Yeah. You know, the fact these conferences did this within all of about 24, 48 hours of one another, they better be careful now. They'll be hit with a collusion allegation by the attorneys of these players, and they would probably lose in court on that.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Could have some overnight storms. It'll stay cloudy with a low temperature of 72. Tomorrow, much like today, mostly cloudy conditions. A 40% chance we get thunderstorms in the afternoon and early evening. The high tops out at 89. Friday, our rain chance increases to 60% throughout the day, a high of 88. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Earned history, chased glory, lived consequences. 500 miles against the Lady in Black. A NASCAR Crown Jewel Too Tough to Tame Labor Day Weekend Classic. The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Meta has agreed to pay up to $18 billion and add stronger child safety measures to its Facebook and Instagram platforms as part of a landmark legal settlement. The deal announced Wednesday ends a trial over teen social media addiction and settles claims with 48 states and some U.S. territories. A federal judge has refused to order Texas to extradite an immigration and customs enforcement officer who's charged with shooting and wounding a man in Minneapolis. Christian Castro is charged in Minnesota with assault and falsely reporting a crime in the January 14 shooting of 24-year-old Julio Cesar Sosa Celis. Castro is in custody in Brownsville on the border with Mexico. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 113 points. More details at srnnews.com.
If you've never had genuine Wagyu or Hereford steaks and burgers, you don't know what you're missing. Time to order the best of the best from HandJCattle.com. These are local farmers in Saluda where tradition meets quality. The best quality beef and a discount for Point listeners. Enter keyword The Point as one word and get 10% off, plus free delivery in Lexington and Richland County orders of $50 or more. It's cooked in season over at HandJCattle.com.
The cost of heading back to school really adds up. A few things become a lot of things. The things on the list and the things that weren't on the list, along with extra groceries, gadgets, and fees. Founders is making the season a little easier with 5.99% APR for 6 months on back-to-school purchases made out of Founders credit card. Grab those school supplies, clothes, and groceries, and take care of unexpected school fees without the stress of high interest rates from now through August 31st. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc to learn more or apply for a Founders credit card today. Promotional rate ends March 1st, 2027. Effective APR of 12.5 to 17.9% will then apply. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
South Carolina summers are hot and humid. and hard on your air conditioner. When your home stops feeling comfortable, call Sweet Comfort Services. We're family owned and operated with over 30 years of heating and air experience. From service and maintenance to complete system replacement, we're here to keep your family cool. We'll even meet or beat any quote from a licensed competitor. Schedule your appointment online at sweethvac.com or call 803-331-8143. Sweet Comfort Services, comfort you can count on.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6839. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6839. That's 800-575-6839.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Point. The Point.
Okay, we're back at Sports Talk Media Network. Wednesday night edition from up at Erskine College, home of the Flying Fleet. Glad to have you with us tonight. We'll have Coach Boyd and a couple of players coming up with us a little bit after 7. We'll hear from Kendall Briles, South Carolina. We'd like to bring you some Clemson stuff, but nothing is fresh. Everything is old, Bergie. Everything is from last week, and so much has changed, yeah? We have nothing new to report from that standpoint with the Tigers, so I guess we're going to have to wait until next week. Want to remind you that it's still hot outside here in South Carolina, as you no doubt know. Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, and it's still summertime. So why not head down to the beach and cool off and enjoy yourself? If you don't have a place to run to, make a phone call to Jimmy Smith at James Smith Real Estate, 843-237-4246. Let Jimmy make your beach getaway just perfect by putting you in the right conditions, whether it's a condo or a small house or a big house, depending on how many people you have going down with you. They can find for you exactly what you need. He's offering some discounts now that school has started and vacations are ending for some people. Vacation can be beginning for you, and you've got a great choice of properties to look at and choose exactly what you need at the right price. 843-237-4246, Paulie's VacationRentals.com. That's Jimmy Smith. Get him while he's in a good mood. He thinks the Gamecocks are going to be pretty good. They'll get off to a 2-0 start, probably 3-0 start, maybe a 4-0 start. Then they got to go to Alabama, I think, after that, and that might change his mood. So get him while he's happy. 843-237-4246. He really ought to
for
run
the Gamecock Winners special.
Exactly. We ought to get him to do a promo where after every Gamecock win, it's like depending on the margin of victory. If they win by 30, you get 30% off. They win by 10, you get 10% off.
He'll be the only Carolina fan in the stands rooting for the offense to take a knee.
Yeah.
No,
really.
Don't score anymore. Don't score anymore.
All right, let's run to the phones. We go to Georgetown, and it is Dr. Tiger. Dr. Tiger joining us to give us some either mental or physical advice here. Dr. Tiger, welcome in. How are you?
Good, Phil. Long time. I haven't talked to you in a long time, everybody.
Yes, sir. Good to have you back with us.
Yep, it's a lot. I've been really busy treating Gamecocks. There's a lot of them out there that need a lot of evaluation and a lot of treatment after last year. So, been really busy.
Are you talking them off the ledge?
Well, there's some of them that just can't say, buddy. I've been trying for 56 years. do the best you can. You win some, you lose some.
Understood. Understood.
But a couple of things. The first thing is, on the stuff with Vic Burley, with the law, they couldn't charge him for a DUI if they didn't see him driving the car or how he got there.
Mm-hmm.
But that would have been why they didn't charge him with that. But on the gun, if he's 21 years old and your open carry is the law now in South Carolina, so he wouldn't have had to have a concealed weapon permit unless he actually had it concealed on his person.
Mm-hmm.
So with open carry now being effective in South Carolina, that wouldn't have applied to that if he's 21 years old. I'm assuming he's 21 because he's been in school that long.
Yeah.
But now I'm not an attorney. I am a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So,
hey, man, there's a lawyer this day and age that seems like there's a lawyer standing on every corner, especially on the internet.
So the other thing was talking about the offensive lines for South Carolina and Clemson both being kind of an unknown. Which offensive line do you think is going to be better this year to protect quarterbacks that have had up and downs, both with Vizina and Norris? Because don't know a lot about South Carolina at all, but Clemson's got a lot of mix and match, plug and play as well. So I'm just wondering, with the offensive line is going to determine how both those schools do.
Yeah, I would lean towards Clemson. First of all, of course, both have experience. The players that South Carolina brought in, they've played elsewhere. So, and when Pete gets healthy, that gives the Gamecocks a potential first-round pick there at left tackle. But also at Clemson, I think Jacobs is considered a potential first-round pick as he gets older. He's still a young pup, but he is considered first-round material. But you look at Clemson, and Elijah Thurman is an excellent offensive lineman when healthy. He's coming off an injury, but when healthy, he's an excellent left guard. Sewell's played a lot of ball for him. He'll be a very good center. I think he'll keep the tradition of centers going there. O'Connell is sort of unknown at the right guard spot right now, I would say. He's played some. I think he's played some. Not exactly sure off the top of my head how many snaps. And then Colin Sadler is a guy, if he ends up at right tackle, or you could see him move to right guard and Eastern Ware playing right tackle. That combination could work. But Sadler's got a lot of experience, a lot of snaps. He's a good player. So I would give Clemson the edge overall on the offensive line. Then you're talking about some reserves like Grant Wise. I think he's going to play somewhere, maybe some center, maybe some guard. I mentioned Ware is going to play some. I think they like Gavin Blanchard and what he might be able to do in a reserve role. So they've got about 8 or 9 they can roll in there.
Right. And, as far as LSU goes, they had 40-some transfers come in, and I know they played, but, I don't know if those guys have been together long enough to make a big splash the first game of the year and have all the kinks worked out. Like Florida State had a lot of transfers, a couple of years ago, and they did real good. But, who knows what's going to happen on their first game with that many people coming in from out of town.
Well, I think we've got to change our philosophy on offensive lines as football people. It used to be, and Coach Boyd could probably testify to this, the theory was, you had to take offensive linemen and grow them up and let them play together for 2 or 3 years, and then you'd have a good offensive line. But, everything's been sped up. Used to be you didn't play your quarterback for a couple of years before he finally got a chance to play. Now you're playing them right away. If they come out of high school and they're ready to play, you're putting them right out there. So the idea that you have to develop offensive linemen over a period of 2 or 3 years before throwing them out there, that's kind of gone by the boards. Or have them playing together. Like I mentioned earlier, South Carolina's going to have a group that has never played together. If they start 5 guys that they signed as free agents in the offseason, 5 guys that never played together in a real game. So we'll see how that works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
All right. Talk to you soon, Phil.
Thank you, man. Good hearing from you. Bergie, your thoughts on offensive lines and the idea of surviving with a group that has not played a snap together in a real game versus one that does have some experience playing together?
Great question, Phil. I don't know that if that's overused, if that's worn out now because of the way the game is changing. I think, the initial question that he asked was which offensive line might be better, and it may be a situation where Clemson's offensive line will have a better season because of their style of play. I mean, they're not going to have to worry as much if Vizina is indeed the guy, and now we're starting to wonder if that's going to be the case. And he's an interesting story because you said you don't start your quarterback for a couple of years. You groom him. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what Clemson's done with him. But then on the flip side, they don't want to upset Tate Reynolds. But I think Clemson's style of play may allow the offensive line to, they're going to run block probably more than they have the last 2 years combined. And so they may actually have a better chance to play well. And I think, as you pointed out, they're a little more cohesive. But I don't know. Maybe it's overblown. I never obviously played offensive line or any other position at the collegiate level. So I don't know. It may work out. Carolina may have one of the best offensive lines in the country just because of experience that they have. Maybe they haven't played together, but all those guys have certainly played.
Well, I'll say that again, talking about Peak. He's supposed to be a very good player when healthy. Mm-hmm. He'll start at the left tackle spot when he's able to come in. You're talking about at center, probably either Carter Miller or Nolan Hay. The left tackle could be Seth Smith. Right now with Peak out, and, of course, Josiah Thompson's out, could be Seth Smith. The left guard could be Hank Purvis in all likelihood. The right guard would be Poku, another one of the free agent signees. The right tackle could be Shed Surratt. At one point, he was apparently running first team, but he might have slipped. And you might be talking about Dane Arnett over there. Or you could be talking about Armando Nieves. Then there's the freshman they're very high on, Darius Gray. And another youngster from South Carolina, Zion Giles. The most interesting one of them all, of course, is the rugby player Neff Jiwa, who is, you talking about raw. I mean, I'd be very surprised if we see him in any games this year, unless it's a complete blowout and they want to get him a chance to get some snaps. But, I mean, guy's never played American football before. But he's a physical guy for sure. He gives some great size there. If they can develop him into a player, they might have something special.
No doubt. And then also, this is the reason you go out and hire a guy like Randy Clements, too. Mm-hmm. He's a veteran offensive line coach that should be able to mold, you give him some clay, he should be able to mold it into whatever he needs. So I think we're going to not only get a referendum on the players themselves, but also find out just how good a coach Randy Clements is, considering he's been handed a lot of pretty good parts. They've just never played together.
Be interested to see how these South Carolina linemen do, the ones from the state. Zion Giles, Marquis Anderson's been in the program for a while. Anthony Baxter was considered a coveted pickup. Blake Franks a couple of years ago was highly sought after but hasn't played a lick. Marquis Anderson has hardly played. He's had some injuries, but he's hardly played. Surratt's played. He has started. He's sort of been, of the in-state guys, he's sort of been the contributor coming out of Gaffney. So we'll see. Again, who knows? We don't have a depth chart. A lot of people are guessing at who's going to be starting and where they're going to be starting. You're probably going to see, assuming that it goes well for them in these first two games, you're going to see a lot of mixing and matching of players on that offensive line to see how they handle it. That'd be my guess. We go to Hank in Columbia. Next up here on Sports Talk. Hank, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Corn.
Good.
As far as that O-line discussion, I don't think anybody knows because remember when Stoops had it rolling for a while, he would bring in each year a whole set of offensive linemen from all different parts. And whoever the O-line coach was at Kentucky would always put them together, and they were running it down everybody's throat.
Yep.
So, I don't think you can count on just because they all parts from all over that they're not going to be cohesive because I think it really, like Bertie said, it depends on the coach because that Kentucky coach was doing a good job of putting them together every year. But at Corn, there's two things. One, that when we spoke about the gun, the issue with the gun, no matter what the kid's age will be if he was on campus or not. Because if he's on campus, I don't care what kind of permit you have, you can't have a gun on his school campus anywhere in South Carolina. That includes college.
Well, actually, I looked this up. On school property. Here is, according to AI, vehicle rules and exceptions. School property, if you park on public or private school property, college or university property, the gun must remain locked in the vehicle and be secured inside a closed glove compartment, console, trunk, or closed container. Now, here's my thing. I'm not that worried or concerned about the legality of him having the gun in his presence. He probably has a permit to carry, or he can carry. It says here you can carry a loaded or unloaded gun openly or concealed anywhere in your vehicle in South Carolina if you are at least 18 and legally allowed to own a firearm. Under the state's constitutional carry law, a permit is no longer required for vehicle transport. Okay, that's all well and good. Not breaking a law, but what about the law of Dabo Swinney is what I'm asking. What does the head coach? How does the head coach feel about, one of his players with a Glock? This just isn't like a little .22 handgun. This is a Glock, right? This is a pretty severe weapon. I don't know. Does he have laws himself about players and guns? Does he allow it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the campus thing that would show it with the gun thing, having it on campus, because it is considered a school, and so.
Well, they said he was picked up. It happened on Calhoun Street. Is that? I don't know all the streets by name, by name and location. If Calhoun is on campus or not, I don't.
Now, Corn, one thing y'all were saying from earlier. The conferences that have come up with these rules for these NFL players and WNBA players and NBA players and stuff, the rules that they have come up with would not be in violation of the court order, as what people were saying. Because remember, the rules, they've gotten the votes from the chancellor. The rules are for the institution. So they've never said in there that LSU or somebody couldn't take these NFL players. It said if you took it, you would be subject to the consequences of the conference. Which means if the LSU go there and say, well, we're going to take these three because we told them we were going to probably take them, that means Kiffin has to sit out 50% of the games, can't be around any of the team activities and all that, and then they have to give up 50% of that sports budget and any other fines that the chancellors have agreed for Sankey to give.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not, they're saying if you take these players, you have to deal with the penalties that will be assessed by the conference.
Yeah.
So they're not violating the order because they're not telling players that can't play. They're just telling the conference, these will be your sanctions. The schools, these will be your sanctions for our conference.
Now, Darren Heitner, like him or hate him, he's all over this stuff. And he wrote that the temporary restraining order in Louisiana.
Corn, you there?
I guess Darren Heitner said that's enough talk about me, so we've cut Corn off from Due West. So Hank, go ahead and finish up your thoughts, and we'll let you go.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Burger?
Yes.
Because conferences, they control their school. So it's no different than, like the conference says, we don't want anybody rushing the field. Some schools, they say, well, this wind's big enough, we're going to rush the field. The conference just goes ahead and sets the penalties in the school. So they never, if a school, it says if you take these players, all of the chancellors and stuff voted, even if LSU withheld their vote today and didn't vote either way, it was still 15. It would have been 15-1 instead of 15-0. But they're saying if you take these players, then in violation of what the conference said, when you take them, you have to deal with these consequences. And the consequences are coach missed 50% of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be around practices, game planning, none of that. You will forfeit. The conference will take 50% of your earnings, and so they don't have to say they're not allowed to play. They're just saying they will thank you.
No, you're right, Hank. Man, that's good stuff. We appreciate the phone call. But, yeah, there are severe penalties, and I'm not sure there's any coach, I don't care how brazen Lane Kiffin wants to be, I don't think he's that brazen that he would risk missing half the season to play a guy who may or may not be able to help him just because he has been on an NFL roster. All right, back. hopefully with corn. Next.
Earned history. Chased glory. Lived consequences. 500 miles against the Lady in Black. A NASCAR Crown Jewel Too Tough to Tame Labor Day Weekend Classic. The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Gas prices might be high, but your auto loan rate doesn't have to be. Beat your current auto loan rate by 2% when you refinance with Founders Federal Credit Union. Plus, make no payments for up to 90 days. That's right, save money with a great rate and make no payments for up to 90 days. Let a Founders representative be your trusted advisor to help make the refinance process quick and easy. Don't forget to ask for a free auto insurance quote to protect your purchase. Founders also offers mechanical breakdown protection that's competitive with most warranty plans available at dealerships. Stop by an office or apply on the Founders app today. To learn more, visit foundersfcu.com/auto. Not a Founders member yet? Visit the Founders website to see if you qualify for membership. For additional cost information, call us toll-free 800-845-1614. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
This is Major Billy Downer with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Boating season is right around the corner here in the Palmetto State. As you get ready for this spring and summer, make sure your registration sticker is up to date and you have a copy of your registration card on board your boat. For more information on boat registration and answers to common questions, visit dnr.sc.gov.
Okay, we're back here at Erskine. Sorry about that. Our line dropped for just a moment. It happens when you're doing remotes and you're on the internet connection. Sometimes they do drop, just like phone lines. And just like the stock market, sometimes it does drop. But it does come back up, and our line did come back up. And I was just saying before the line dropped, just to summarize what Darren Heitner wrote here. Basically, he's saying that the conferences, just because they have come out and beat their chests and declared all this stuff, that the temporary restraining order from Louisiana pertains to them just like it does the NCAA. They're a part of the NCAA. It pertains to them. So what he's saying, what he's arguing is those players in Louisiana who got the TRO can still move on and play at the schools. Now, internally, if the SEC wants to punish a school that does it, I mean, that's their call. But according to him, you can't stop the players, and you can't stop the schools.
Well, and I think he's right in arguing for his client. He's wrong because he's arguing just to try and make more money, because what's going to happen, and that was Hank's point after you dropped. He summarized his side of the coin. He's right. I mean, let's assume for a moment DQ Smith was going to come back to South Carolina. We'll use him as an example. Mm-hmm. And Shane Beamer brought him back. Shane Beamer doesn't have to play him. When Shane Beamer sees that the Southeastern Conference is going to make him sit out half the season, lose like 50% of the games, he can't recruit, he can't be at practice. I mean, these are harsh penalties the SEC is handing down. So in theory, USC would be handling and obliging by the temporary restraining order. The DQ Smith could come back and be on campus. They don't have to play him, though. I mean, what these guys are going to end up probably having to do if they truly want to go play college football, they're going to have to drop down and probably go play FCS football.
Which they'd be
because
glad to have.
The Sun Belt came out yesterday and said they're not going to take any pro players. So ultimately, I think you're going to see all the FBS level program conferences do the same thing.
I think you're going to have collusion cases here.
But I don't know. I mean, but how's that going? So if they sue you, the coaches could just say you don't fit our system.
No, they're going to sue. I mean, they're going to sue the schools. They're going to sue the conferences.
To do what, though?
To make them take them.
They can take them, but they can't make them play them.
But I mean, if you got them, you might as well play them.
But you can't because your conference is about to hammer you with
No, they're
going
to make the conferences rescind all that, is what I'm saying. If they hit them with a collusion case.
I don't think they can.
We'll see what happens. Let's go quickly. Quickly. We go to Tiger Bryan. Tiger Bryan, welcome into Sports Talk. How are you?
I'm doing good, but you know what? This is a bunch of BS. All right. You go to pro. You know, even you got. I mean, a lot of these kids that go for the college, when they get drafted, I mean, they don't get a degree or nothing. They go up there, they can't make it. They won't come back to play for college. That's bull. That's BS. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it just cause that guy was. You don't cut me off already?
Yeah, top of the hour break. You got to call soon.
You don't let me come back and talk?
It'll be a few minutes. It's going to be a while because we got the Erskine folks coming up after the break. You call back at 7:30.
Think that's BS?
Well, I mean, I don't like it, but I don't see how you can stop it now with the way things are. All right, we'll be back. Got the folks from Erskine coming up.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A Texas judge has denied Minnesota's bid to extradite an ICE officer wanted on assault charges.
A federal judge has refused to order Texas to extradite Immigration and Customs Enforcement Officer Christian Castro. Castro is charged in Minnesota with assault and falsely reporting a crime, accused of shooting 24-year-old Julio Cesar Sosa Celis in the leg at a Minneapolis home in January. Castro is also charged with falsely accusing Sosa Celis and another man of attacking an ICE officer under Texas law and barring extradition. Castro must be released after 90 days of detention, which is Thursday. Minnesota officials say they believe Castro could flee to Mexico. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
A Russian hacker group says it's behind a cyber attack targeting Norway's public digital services.
Pro-Russian hacker group Server Killers has claimed responsibility for a cyber attack that's affected multiple Norwegian government digital services. Media in Norway reported on a Telegram post in which the group said it had declared cyber war on Norway after the country renewed its security cooperation with Ukraine on August 23rd. A spokesperson for the Norwegian Digitalization Agency says the attack has been ongoing since Monday. The denial of service attacks aimed at blocking services, but the agency says it managed to keep them running. European countries remain on high alert. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
Iran will not allow military vessels to transit through the Strait of Hormuz if an agreement it's negotiating with Oman is finalized. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 113 points, the Nasdaq dropped 21, the S&P 500 index lower by 1. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, y'all, I'm Willie Robertson.
And I'm Corey Robertson.
We partnered with Echo. It's a new platform, not just streaming.
Movies and series that are safe for your family. I love a podcast.
Plus, Echo Daily Devotionals.
Echo.
Hey, Willie, what is Echo?
Echo is my pet squirrel. Okay, Doc. Echo is not just faith-friendly, it is faith-driven.
Be a part of something better.
Echo.
Echo.
That's where I want to be.
That's EKKL.com.
Subscribe now.
Scott Jennings fearlessly fights back against the mainstream media on the Scott Jennings podcast.
So the Democratic message for the 2026 midterm is, we don't love America. That's it. The message from the left is, as long as because people that we don't like are allowed to win elections, we hate America. That's a heck of a thing to be running an election on. We hate America.
Subscribe for free today on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
A Chinese humanoid robot set a new 100-meter sprint record in Beijing. We hear more on this story from correspondent Ed Donahue reporting.
It happened at China's World Humanoid Robot Games in Beijing. The time was 8.86 seconds, beating its robot competitors and the fastest recorded human time from Usain Bolt. Experts are amazed to see such progress in the humanoid robot industry. Robotic engineer Li Zhande says we don't aim to compete with or surpass human beings. What it does well is taking part in children's education, being a teaching assistant, playing with children, and helping children accept and learn about robots. The record-breaking robot fell after hitting the finish line, a padded barrier, with sparks flying from its waist. I'm Ed Donahue.
News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters reporting.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Could have some overnight storms. It'll stay cloudy with a low temperature of 72. Tomorrow, much like today, mostly cloudy conditions. A 40% chance we get thunderstorms in the afternoon and early evening. The high tops out at 89. Friday, our rain chance increases to 60% throughout the day, a high of 88. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point. The Point.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is Sports Talk Media Network across the state of South Carolina on this Wednesday night on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour, our final stop of the Palmetto Pigskin Tour. Lucky number 13.
There we go.
Lucky number 13 is Erskine. The Flying Fleet had a chance last year to do some good things. They're going to try and build on that this year. Let's welcome back to the program head coach who's been with us every year we've done this up here, Coach Shap Boyd, joining us, the originator of the football program here at Erskine. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm awesome. And I wouldn't say I'm the originator. I guess there was a long pause in between whenever they originated it. And
yeah.
But certainly it's someone that helped bring it back. So,
The revival.
There we go.
So one win last year is not good, but competitive. More often than not.
Yes, but there's no consolation in that. Trust me.
Yeah,
it was a frustrating season, and I'm sure the players that you talk to can attest to that. But anyway, we learned a lot, I think, and I think you always got to learn. And we, hopefully we're putting some of that in the rearview mirror and moving on. So. But I definitely think we will take some things away from that season. So
yeah, what are some of those things that you think you'll learn that will apply to this year that'll help you?
Well, I mean, I think just ultimately, starting is one thing, but you still got to finish, and ultimately, I mean, absolutely, there's at least 3 games that we just didn't finish, literally. I mean, the game went. We stopped playing with 59 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Yeah,
that type of thing. So, and part of that's maturity. Part of it's just not having been there before. But again, going through those tough times put them into our off season, and I think it left a really bad taste in my mouth, and I'm sure it's left a bad taste in a lot of our players' mouths as well. So it's something that we're looking forward to basically showing people that we have been pecking away at this thing, and that we are a different program than last year and the year before and the year before.
Yeah.
So it's been a process, and it still is, but it's been painful at times.
Sure. Now, you look at some of the numbers from last season. Defense, you gave up 37 a game. I know that has to be something you focused on. The other thing I noticed, too, is third down defense. Gave up a lot of conversions. Third down defense, fourth down defense. That's probably why you gave up 37 points a game. What are you looking at there to improve in those particular areas?
Well, schematically, just, tweaking some things, doing some things a little bit different. And a lot of that just comes back to being able to recruit the kind of players to run and be able to do the things we want to be able to do.
Sure.
Schematically, when we first got here, we couldn't. We've been pretty much a bend but don't break, or tried to be a bend but don't break defense,
sure.
Which is not my mentality, nor our players' mentality, nor our program's mentality. We're not interested in that, and we need to, change that for sure. And I think we took steps and we took strides, and we're working on doing that right now. So the proof will be in the pudding, that's for sure. And but there's been a lot of preparation that's going into it. So
offensively, threw it pretty well last season. What's your quarterback situation looking like going into this season?
I think it's deep, probably deeper than it's ever been. You've got maturity returning in the sense that you have a player that started as a true freshman last year that is now back as a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, a backup that is also a veteran. And then you have some very young talent. You got a couple of young guys that were in the program, and then you have some freshmen that are coming in that have come in that are talented as well. So I would say it's probably the deepest room that we've ever had.
So Ryan Kilmer will be back as your starting quarterback?
Yes, he is.
Threw for 1,800 yards last year, 13 touchdowns, about 55%. Interceptions a little high at 18, I'm sure. Of course, he was young, so, he learned from that. I would imagine you're expecting him to cut that at least in half.
I'm not even going to necessarily I just feel like, he's improved going through the spring, going through, the fall camp. He's a stronger kid, bigger, stronger kid. He was a wiry, wispy freshman last year, and he's a much different kid this year than he was last year. So, I expect that yes, he absolutely will reduce some of those he will clean up, and he has cleaned up a lot of things that freshmen do at times, and I think he's definitely taken the steps that he needs to, and I'm looking forward to seeing that on the field.
Have you changed anything? You got a new quarterback coach in. Have you changed anything schematically or technically with him, with the way you guys want him to handle the job?
No, I don't think so. I think part of it's maturity.
Mm-hmm.
When you're youthful, and by virtue of the position, you have to lead, and it's hard. It's hard for a freshman to step into a huddle when you've got some upperclassmen that have been through some wars and been through some stuff, and you haven't been there with them. I think part of it's that, and I think and then him just gaining some confidence in his abilities and knowing that he can do it at this level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's been a maturation on his part. I think the team has kind of rallied around him, and I think the team has grown with him. So, I feel like it's just the natural evolution, I guess, as far as that goes. But I think, they're all moving in the right direction. We are all moving in the right direction. So, again, I'm just looking forward to seeing how we put it onto the field, because ultimately it still comes back to making sure you have to get it done when you're supposed to get it done.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon or evening or whenever the flip we end up playing. But
they
feel like the times keep changing every week, but whatever. So
and this is game week for you guys. We'll talk about that in just a second. You had almost 1,000-yard rusher last season in Logan Coldren, 923 yards, 7 touchdowns. Is he back?
He is not.
Oh.
I'll be honest with you. I don't I think I know where he is, and if he is there, then we'll see him. We'll wave to him across the sideline. But I mean, I feel like we've got some good, talented backs, and he was a very good back for us last year, but I do think that I think we'll be able to move on, and I'm looking forward to watching those. We'll have some young guys, but we also have some older guys, so I think it's a good mix in that room, and looking forward to seeing what they can do.
How's your offensive line look?
Well, you get to talk to one of them in a couple seconds here.
Yeah.
They're a lot of them are the same ones. So you're going to have a maturation there, and you're also going to have a couple of kids. Most of our offensive linemen historically have grown up in our program, and we've done a good job, I think, growing kids up. And I think that's no different now. We have some kids that were in our program last year that needed to get bigger, faster, stronger type of thing, and that's taken place. And then I think you have some guys returning. You had some guys that got banged up last year that are now back. So I mean, overall, it's just a pretty good mix of some older guys with some youthful guys. But I do fully expect, they want to be physical, and I think that's part of that's certainly what I want our DNA to be. Now we just got to put it on the field.
Absolutely. So it is game week. As I mentioned, you guys are going to be opening up on the road, going into Virginia to play Bluefield in Virginia. What's this matchup look like? What do you know about them? How do you like where your guys are coming out of camp, going into your season opener?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing about coming out of camp or whatever, going into that first week, is just getting out of camp. I mean, I think there isn't anybody that isn't ready to go play.
Yep.
And ultimately, it's just we're just tired of seeing each other right now.
Yeah.
I love Hart and whatever, but I'm tired of seeing him.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody else. I want to see a different colored jersey. So, it's they're a good, formidable opponent in the sense that they've had winning records. Their head coach has been building that program consistently, and he's done a good job with it. And a couple guys on that staff are friends of mine, guys I've known for over the years, and they've done a good job there. So the thing that they do, they have a nice blend of the bigger bodies up front with the athletes and the skill on the perimeter, and it'll definitely be a formidable opponent for us. And the one thing I promise you is they're going to be tough. They're going to be hard-nosed. They're going to play for 60 minutes, and if we don't have that same mindset, then it's not going to be a fun trip to Virginia. So,
but that's what you want your guys to be,
and that's exactly what we want our guys to be.
You said that from day one. You wanted to be hard-nosed, tough, and really run the football and be a physical running team. You've kind of maybe because of circumstances and personnel shifted a little bit to more of a passing thing?
I think I always want to run the ball. I think passing becomes too much of a finesse game, and it becomes more basketball on grass, and I don't think that's what we want to be, because I think, at times you absolutely need to be able to run the ball. And I also think that when you run the ball, it takes the stuffing out of the defense. If you're just kind of steamrolling them and kind of grinding them, you're taking it's hard for the opposing people to be on the sideline and watch that happen to their offense or their defense. And I just think there's a mental toughness that goes along with that just throwing it around the parking lot is not the same. That's flag football. So I mean, don't get me wrong, we have to be able to do both.
Sure.
But I absolutely think that we need to be able to run the ball, and we need to be physical with it, and we need to own that. Just like we don't want anybody running the ball against us. And we have to own that on defense.
Are you as encouraged about this team and this season as any of your years here at Erskine?
I would say that every year, in my mind, we have ticked up. I would say that I'm more excited about this season in the sense that we're moving past the COVID deal. We're moving past some of the things that have been lingering and kind of made it harder to kind of move forward. We're getting older. We have a We don't have a huge senior class, but we do have a senior class, and then we have a junior class and a sophomore class. So now we're kind of stair-stepped a little bit more than what we've had. In the previous years when we come into camp, summer camp, we would bring in about the same number of upperclassmen as we brought in freshmen or first years. This year, it was 2/3 upperclassmen to 1/3 first years. So we're evolving, and in a way that needed to happen. We have more maturity, more age, more leadership is basically where I'm heading with that.
Sure.
And it's been a great camp. I mean, the kids all talk about it being long, whatever. But I mean, yeah, it's always long. Anytime you're doing football for 2 weeks straight, and it's long.
Yeah.
But I think they handled it well, and I think we have enough older guys that can lead the young guys, and I think that's been nice to watch and nice to see, nice to observe. So the whole program's growing, and really, I kind of made this comment at our conference meeting a few weeks ago, is that really everything about the program is doing what I'd like. The part that we have to step up with is the part on the field.
Yeah.
We have to demonstrate it to the world that we are different. We are better. We are evolving. We are trending in the right direction. So.
Maybe this will be the year.
Maybe.
Got a man over here who's nodding his approval. Coach, thank you. It's great seeing you again. Good luck this year. Always fun coming up and visiting with you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for giving Erskine an opportunity to talk about our program.
Absolutely, of course. And we're going to talk with your two players coming up. Thank you, Coach. Coming up, we're going to visit with, he's back by popular demand, Hart Cushman. He was with us last year. And Gary Maddox, not the baseball star, pretty good linebacker. Gary Maddox out of Commerce, Georgia. And he needs a shampoo commercial. That's what he needs. He's got the long hair. They'll be coming up after the break. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Jim Corbett. I've been an attorney for more than 30 years. There's one thing I've learned about injury cases. It's you need the personal touch. You need the lawyer to get to know you and describe your damages. You don't want a case manager talking to an insurance company and then talking to you and then talking to a lawyer with limited experience at the last minute to try to settle a case. I talk to you. I find out what your case is about. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com for your injury cases.
If you're juggling multiple credit card balances and you're feeling overwhelmed, high interest can add up quickly and it can become stressful to control. Now through September 30th, 2026, well-qualified borrowers can pause interest when they transfer credit card balances and enjoy 0% APR for 12 months. A balance transfer can help simplify your life, making it easier to focus and manage your budget. This limited time offer can help you move forward with confidence and less worry. Plus, with fewer due dates and less interest to worry about, you can spend more time focusing on what matters most: your goals, your family, and your financial future. Upon expiration, APR will then revert to the standard variable APR, currently 12.5% to 17.90%. If credit criteria are not met, 17.9% APR will apply. Don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc for more details. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Sweet, $50. Who are you? And why do you have that guitar?
Now you want that $50. There's something you should know. The people in your life, the things they require will grow and grow and grow. There's your friend that wants you to buy him chips. Your cousin Nate who wants extra drip. Your aunt who'd love a titanium hip. Your dad with a house.
The South Carolina Education Lottery, where the fun goes on and on and on.
Okay, we're back on Sports Talk. We're here at Erskine. Now we're visiting with the Flying Fleeters, the players. We had Coach with us. Now time to talk with the players. Welcome back, a repeat offender here on Sports Talk. Hart Cushman, offensive lineman from Beaufort, two-time South Carolina High School League football championship game participant, and got a ring.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I remember when you guys won that championship. And Gary Maddox, linebacker from Georgia, who was the Football Scholar Athlete of the Year in Conference Carolinas. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Great to have you with us. Yeah. When's the last time you had a haircut?
Couple years, probably.
I mean, we had the wide receiver from Newberry yesterday, DeAndre Coleman. He had quite the hair, and you match him in a different way.
Hey, trying to look good. That's all it is.
There you go. Do you tuck it in your helmet, or do you leave it out?
Oh, no, we let it flow.
Let it flow. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Well, guys, the season's here for y'all. So, Hart, how you feeling? How's it looking out there offensively?
It's looking great. We're feeling really confident this season that we can put some points up on the board, unlike some years in the past. But everybody's really confident, and we're ready to pick up the pace this year, for sure.
Because you're older on offense, you had to go through the freshman year with a new quarterback. He's older. You just feel like you guys are kind of growing up together on offense?
Yeah, we definitely are. Ryan's done a great job just flushing all last season. And he's definitely picked up the intensity. But he's such a stoic guy where he just brings confidence to everybody else. And we're all really confident in him. But he's really grown up this year for sure.
Yeah. Going to be, as an offensive line, how you going to – you think you'll be physical? Are you physical, stronger? How do you think you'll be as an offensive line?
Yeah, we'll both be physical, more physical and stronger up front. All of our guys have kind of grown up together, like Coach was saying earlier, and we've just gotten bigger and stronger each year. But this year we're going to be both stronger and faster. We want to speed it up, the tempo this year.
Yeah,
for sure.
Gary, the defense, you heard me talking to Coach. I mean, you got a little bit of improvement to do on the defensive side. Did you see it out there in camp?
No doubt. Yes, sir. Yeah, we've made big strides this offseason, mainly up front. We've got a couple transfer guys come in, and then we're returning both starters at Sam and Will at linebacker, and Mike as well. So I feel like we've made strides, and we're older on defense, and I think that really helps us out a lot. Corners, honestly, since I've been here, we probably got the best position group of corners that we've had, and that includes both older and younger guys. So I'm pretty confident in what we can do this year.
So from the standpoint of things that you've worked on in the spring and here in this camp defensively, what are some of the finer points that you guys have focused on that's going to make you better?
I mean, I think everybody that plays defense can attest to this, but our biggest thing is just everybody being on the same page, and communication is our biggest thing. As everybody knows, if one guy out of the 11 messes up, offense can really take advantage of that. So our biggest thing is just having everybody on the same page, being able to be in sync and play as one unit.
Last year, you guys were close to breaking through. I mean, it is what it is, but you were close to breaking through. What does that mean? Is it frustrating, or is it confidence building that, we know we're close and we're going to break through on that ceiling here eventually?
I think it's a little bit of both. Obviously, it's frustrating, being in games and you're feeling like you have the momentum most of the game, and then, something bad happen and it all starts to snowball. But also, you got to see the good in everything. And for me personally, since I've been here, we haven't really been able to see that on the field. And I think that was a good indicator for us and a learning experience of, all right, hey, we know we got what it takes to get it done. Now we just got to learn how to finish games, like Coach Boyd was saying. And I think that's been our whole focus this spring and this fall camp, is learn how to finish games.
Hart, is there some sort of a slogan or phrase you guys have adopted as players, as teammates, to kind of echo what Gary's saying here?
We just got to be disciplined. Our offensive coach has been talking a lot about motivation and discipline, like what's the differences, You might have motivation the first day of camp to get up and get after it. By day 5, you have no motivation left, and it's all down to discipline.
Yeah.
And I know Gary can attest to this, but it's every day being disciplined to fight through that pain, fight through that adversity. And that's how you don't lose those games that you're close in. That's how you push through and win those games.
Sure. How do you like this matchup with Bluefield to open the season up there?
It's definitely a great matchup. On defense, they're younger for sure. Only one of their returners has played in more than 3 games on the defensive line. So we think we can take advantage of that. But we're not disrespecting them in regard. They're well coached. All their coaches are about the same age, if not older than Coach Boyd. So they have a lot of experience. So we're really excited. It's a good test for us, and we get to be on the road, and that definitely puts a chip on our shoulder.
Gary, what's your feeling about this team going in? Is this the team that's going to get it done?
No doubt. I will say me and Hart, like Coach Boyd was saying, we went to the Carolinas conference meeting this summer, and my message to them when the preseason polls came out and we were ranked dead last, I said I appreciate that. We haven't done anything to deserve anything more, but this is the year that we plan to put Erskine on the map and really break through the wall.
What did it mean to you to get the award last year as the Scholar Athlete of the Year? I mean, not only do you have to be a good athlete and a good player, you got to do well in the classroom.
I'll be honest with you. Any kind of award or anything like that, I greatly appreciate it. And, it's awesome to get that kind of thing going. But Coach Boyd has always preached way over me, and, I don't care really how many awards I get or anything like that. If we can't finish the goal and we can't win a game or, do what we want to do, it really doesn't matter, what I do personally. And for me, I think that's the biggest thing is with the Scholar Athlete deal, guys can look at me and be like, hey, if you go to class, do what you're supposed to do, it'll all add up. And I think that'll happen for us this year.
Well, we wish you guys the best of luck. It's time to get that lead and hold on to it, Hart.
Yes, sir, of course.
Grab it by the throat and hang on to it. Build the lead and hang on, and don't give up third down conversions.
Yes, sir.
That'll go a long way towards helping you guys win games.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
I'm a coach. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Yes, thank you so
Great
much.
to see you.
Thanks for
Are
having
you
us.
finally graduating?
Yes, this is
I won't see you next year.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Congratulations to you
Thank
on
you.
the award. Appreciate the guys from Erskine coming over. Good luck to them starting Saturday up in Virginia, and we'll be back.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Could have some overnight storms. It'll stay cloudy with a low temperature of 72. Tomorrow, much like today, mostly cloudy conditions. A 40% chance we get thunderstorms in the afternoon and early evening. The high tops out at 89. Friday, our rain chance increases to 60% throughout the day, a high of 88. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Hey, it's Jay with the Melting Pot. Are you thinking about where to take that someone special in your life to dinner? And what are you celebrating? An anniversary, birthday, or just another trip around the sun? Or maybe it's just date night. Well, we are Columbia's premier celebration destination. Enjoy more than just a meal with our artisanal cheeses, amazing entrees, and decadent chocolates. Stop by the Melting Pot. We're still at 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard in Columbia.
The Point.
Social. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. Army has announced plans to add nuclear microreactors at 5 military bases from New York to Texas as a reliable energy source independent of the commercial electric grid. The Wednesday announcement comes as the Trump administration pushes hard to develop the next generation of nuclear power. No nuclear microreactors are supplying power to the commercial electric grid in the United States today. Meta has agreed to pay up to $18 billion and add stronger child safety measures to its Facebook and Instagram platforms as part of a landmark legal settlement. The deal announced Wednesday ends a trial over teens' social media addiction and settles claims with 48 states and some U.S. territories. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 113 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Nobody plans for a plumbing problem. They come unannounced and usually at a very inconvenient time. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is your trusted ally. They recognize just how vulnerable a customer is at this time, and they want to help. They have well-trained plumbers who are there to make a difference when you need it most. I've experienced this. They're knowledgeable about their craft. They're not coming to your house to pitch new products. If something is broken, they'll give you a price to fix it if it's possible, or a price to replace it if necessary. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is also locally locally owned and operated, or I simply wouldn't endorse them. Josh and his team prioritize customer service above everything else. They handle every issue with care and precision. Those are not just words. I've had Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning out to my home. They back up those words with their actions. If you have a crisis, get some peace of mind. Online, you find them at franklinplumbing.sc.com or you call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. I'm absolutely positive they will make whatever is wrong right again. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
When you've served the Midlands for more than 80 years, you're obviously doing something right. Groucho's Deli has 8 Midlands locations and for decades holds the title of Best Sandwich, Best Salad, Best Sweet Tea, Best Fast Lunch, Best Bang for Your Buck, Best Deli. Well, you get the idea. Order online at Grouchos.com and on the Grouchos app for fast, convenient, and friendly pickup. And sign up for the Grouchos Rewards and Birthday Brownie Club.
Attention all gun owners. Did you know you can now purchase a suppressor without a Form 4 and only a 4473? Palmetto State Armory is the go-to destination for suppressors with brands like Dead Air, Advanced Armament, Silencer Co., and many more on hand. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is there to help walk you through the suppressor buying process and help you make the right decision, whether it's your first suppressor purchase or your 10th. Stop in today and take advantage of the new 4473 transfer process at Palmetto State Armory, your premier suppressor dealer. Offer only valid for South Carolina residents.
What's better than getting the best Wagyu and Hereford beef anywhere in these parts and getting it delivered to your door? How about knowing you're still supporting local farmers in Saluda over at H&J Cattle, where tradition meets quality? Visit HandJCattle.com. Place your order for $50 or more, get free delivery in Richland or Lexington County. Plus, Point listeners get 10% off your order. Enter keyword The Point as one word for your discount. HandJCattle.com.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We'd like to invite you and your family to dine with us. We have a great menu that's sure to please your whole family. We have fresh cooked burgers, big juicy wings, blue plate menu featuring country cooking, oven baked hoagies, fresh crisp salads, authentic Greek food like gyros, souvlaki, and baklava. We also carry 20 different premium cheesecakes and pies. Flight Deck Restaurant also has an arcade with 30 different games like Star Wars, Batman, Skee Ball, Bass Wheel, Pac-Man, Galaga, and so much more. Flight Deck, your favorite family restaurant. Thanks y'all and God bless.
All right, thanks again to the folks here at Erskine. Thanks to Ben Alton for putting everything together for us with the Erskine folks. Always fun coming up to one of the, well, it's not, I don't want to make Erskine sound like it's, out in the middle of Appalachia. I mean, it's not far from Greenwood, nice sized city. Not far from Abbeville, where you see a lot of good football. Not too far from 96, just up the road from Donald's, around the corner from Hodges. What else is around here? That's pretty much it. Seeing this, so this is from the Clemson Insider, Will Vandervoort. More details from Burley's day in court released. They FOI'd. They obtained details of Burley's guilty plea this morning at Clemson University Municipal Court. Judge Lindsey Simmons, he granted the conditional discharge for public disorderly conduct. He appeared before the judge, pled guilty, under the South Carolina Conditional Discharge Statute. Conditional discharge is a program available to first-time offenders with minor charges, including public disorderly conduct. He was sentenced to 6 months of court supervision. Terms include completion of 2 online court education programs, completion of the Clemson University Police Department's in-person court education program, 24 hours of community service, cannot be football-related, $150 statutory participation fee, random drug testing at the discretion of the court, and remaining on good behavior, incurring no other criminal charges during the period of supervision. If all requirements have been met at the conclusion of the 6-month period, the charge is dismissed and expunged from the defendant's criminal history. Any violation of the terms of conditional discharge supervision may result in a fine of up to $257.50 and or 30 days imprisonment. On Saturday, Burley was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct after he was allegedly found asleep at 2:15 a.m. by officers in his truck with the vehicle running. Burley issued a public apology to Clemson today. It says, "I want to start by apologizing to my coaches, my teammates, our university, and our fans. I let you down. I take full responsibility for my actions that night. You all have invested so much in me, and I understand I have some work to do to earn back your trust, but I promise you I will. I also want to acknowledge the Clemson University police officers involved. I understand how difficult and thankless their job can be, and I'm grateful for how professionally and respectfully they treated me, even in a moment I wasn't at my best. That's not something I take for granted, and I'm sorry they had to deal with me at all that night." So that is that. That is that. That's the story there. And again, he remains suspended. He remains suspended. I would imagine that he won't be in uniform for the LSU game, Bergie. That would be my guess.
I would think that's probably the case. But once all of this, I don't know how long it might take. Well, he's got to go through 6 months. So clearly, to answer my own question, it'll be after the football season. But, you wonder, and again, you want to be down the middle and harsh sometimes with these players. But you also, I don't know how much do you worry as a coach because of everything we've seen, Phil. It sounds ridiculous to say, but are we hurting this young man's ability to get pay-for-play money because we've suspended him from the team now? Do we have to bring him back and maybe just not play him? I don't know what all goes into these decisions now for coaches. I would discipline now is a whole lot different than discipline used to be, for sure.
Yep. Big 12 issues a statement falling in line with the other leagues. Unanimously adopted a conference rule barring Big 12 member institutions from fielding professional athletes in any conference-sponsored sport. No member institution may roster an athlete who has at any time, A, declared for the draft or supplemental draft of a professional sports league and did not timely withdraw before the draft, 2, been listed on the roster of a professional sports league, or 3, signed a contract with any professional sports league to provide athletics services. This rule will apply independently of the status of NCAA eligibility determinations. But, didn't we have all this? They're all up in arms now because LSU grabbed these two guys who couldn't make it in the NFL. Didn't we see former NBA players, sign with teams this past season?
Guys, remember Alabama had a kid that was on an NBA team, right? I don't know that he got into a game. I'm trying to remember. But
there was a couple of cases. One was a player who was not drafted, but was in camp with an NBA team, I think, and ended up maybe that was the one at Alabama. And then there was another one who I think was a second-round draft pick and ended up going to the G League or something and then coming to a school. But I'm just saying, now all of a sudden we're up in arms about this thing because it's football. It's the NFL. And what's the difference? What's the difference in what happened with the basketball players versus what's happening now?
Well, what's the difference between international players? We'll stick with basketball for a moment, that have played overseas, played on professional teams, and found a way to migrate themselves back to college. I don't know that I can make a major distinction from being in an NFL camp and participating in one preseason game, how that's so much more egregious than somebody who was playing overseas in an international level league and then comes back and plays collegiately, or playing in the G League and comes back and plays collegiately.
This is also confusing. I used to like it when we talked football during football season, That was a lot more fun. Speaking of, let's
season
talk
has turned into legal season.
Really? Let's talk some football with the Gamecocks offensive coordinator, Bergie. What you got?
Yes, earlier today, Kendall Briles and also Clayton White, the DC, and the new special teams coordinator, all meeting with the media today. And Kendall Briles was clearly probably the major focus, I think, because everybody's got a pretty good idea as to what to expect from Clayton White's group. But Kendall stepped up to the podium, took some questions from the media, and here's what he had to say about his offensive unit as they get ready for Kent State.
How is this preseason camp going? I know that you had the offense pretty much installed before you started. So what was kind of the overall goal of this preseason camp?
Yeah, just developing guys, and obviously there's a ton of, competition at really all positions, and so, putting those guys on the field, letting them play football, and making sure we're getting the best 11 guys on the field. So there's been a ton of competition. I think it's been a very workmanlike camp. I mean, the guys have been dialed in every day. There hadn't been a day where we have to jumpstart them as coaches. They've gotten out there. They've wanted to work and get better and competed at a very high level. So that's been really good to see. So I've been pleased with fall camp. Offensively, obviously we kind of felt like we knew what our personnel was, and then you work through the summer and continue to make sure we're putting guys in the best positions to be successful. So continually done that. We got great coaches. So still working right now. 10 days away to get those guys in the right position.
Hey, Kendall, how do you feel like the offense looked through the first two scrimmages here with the way you guys were able to run the offense? Did everything feel like it was being, run the way you would have it in a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's never the way that you always want it, There's always going to be little details and things that you want to be better. But overall, the mechanics and the processing of the information that the guys are receiving and being able to get lined up and play, with tempo and then obviously have the ability to execute at a high level. So, there were times we did that. We got some good players on defense that make it hard on us at times, but the competition level has been outstanding out there on the field. So I've been pleased with the scrimmages, and obviously those allow us to coach things up and get better.
How do you feel like the progress is up front on the line, and are you guys at a point now where you feel like you can hone in on 6, 7, however many you feel like you got to start getting ready for next weekend?
Yeah, progress has been great. Those guys have been battling all through, spring, summer workouts and into fall camp. We'd like to have, like you're saying, 7 or 8 guys that we're going to be able to roll in. And if you had 5, just bona fide dudes that you couldn't take off the field, then, you'd leave them there. And I don't know if we're at that point right now. We still got guys that are really battling for those positions and getting on the field. And, that's good. It creates an edge in the room. And Coach Clements, Coach Smooth, done a heck of a job coaching those guys up and making sure we're getting those guys in the right position and getting our best 5 on the field.
I guess, what are the benchmarks to know that the tempo in practice is what you want to see? I mean, are you at all timing between plays, how many plays you want to run? How do you know that it's at the spot you want it to be?
Yeah, I really don't have anything where I do that at practice. A lot of the practices, because you're trying to work on different things, are scripted, and you're going, against a defense, and you're working on different situations down and distance, so you've kind of built in those situations. So a lot of it's just not a call-it situation where you're able to go with tempo, and so that was really key with some of the practices that we did get to be able to do that and work our tempo and the mechanics of it, the linemen lining up, playing fast, guys having to see down and distance and all those things, and then obviously the scrimmages. And really the only way to tempo is to be good on first down and to continually move the ball and stay on the field and wear the defense out. And, with the game and the way that it's changed, the officials will hold you up at times. If you get anywhere near the sideline, they're probably going to hold it up. And so obviously we're very, very cognizant of that. And so at times we'll huddle if we need to, and the rest of the time we'll be going.
Coach Beamer and Coach Drain have mentioned wanting to see somebody take ownership in that running back room. Is that something that you've seen, and just kind of your overall thoughts on what you saw from all the running backs?
Yeah, Coach Drayton does a great job with those guys. I feel like we have 5 real SEC running backs. Feel really comfortable with really anybody taking the field. Obviously, Matt Fuller, we feel like could be the guy that is maybe most explosive out of the group. And Matt's had a great fall camp. And then, the rest of those guys are nipping at his heels, and everybody's battling and fighting to get on the field. So really pleased with the guys that we have in the room. Jabri Coleman's a young guy that's really stepped up in fall camp. And then, obviously Christian, Jawarn, and Isaiah. So there's a lot of competition in that room to get the football.
Because a lot of times people look at a non-conference opponent first game and say, well, they might hold back a few plays for that first game, not sure everything. Is that a real phenomenon, especially when you're coming into a new place, that you might try to hold something back?
No, Lord, no. I mean, we're doing everything we can to go win the football game. I can promise you that. The way that college football is nowadays, with the way the rosters turn over, everybody's got really good people. Luckily for us, we're playing at Williams-Brice right across the road, and I can't wait to get in there and hear 80,000 fans screaming, and it'll be the first time I've been in there in a game day. So, Kent State's got to deal with that a little bit, but they're they're going to be a good football team coming in here thinking that obviously they're going to go win the football game. And so we got to be really, really sharp, and we got to take that hope away from them early.
Man's got to produce 40 a game, first 2 games at least. Got to produce 40 a game. Oh, not all season.
The year.
I mean, I think Gamecock fans would sign up.
They'll be in the playoff, I can promise you, if they average 40 points a game.
The Tennessee,
by the way, Charles Bediako was the guy I was thinking about from Alabama that's on the two-way deal with the Spurs.
Yes. We have more court action here in favor of the NCAA. That and recruiting coming up.
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where excitement's the name of the game, and every chance at a win
Just one more. Come on, so close.
comes with a chance of a whiff.
Well, no biggie.
Nicely done. You handled it like a pro. Because when the stakes start getting too real and you find yourself playing for more than fun, it might be time to take a break.
Good point.
Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you. Learn more at SCEducationLottery.com.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
This is Major Billy Downer with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Boating season is right around the corner here in the Palmetto State. As you get ready for this spring and summer, make sure your registration sticker is up to date and you have a copy of your registration card on board your boat. For more information on boat registration and answers to common questions, visit dnr.sc.gov.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, time for the recruiting report tonight here on Sports Talk, brought to you by our good friends at Seawell's Food Caterers in Columbia. Make sure you visit their website for all their menu options, which is SeawellsCateringSC.com, or you can call them directly. 803-771-7385 is the number. Let them handle what you've got going on. It might be a wedding reception, a birthday party, a corporate outing, an awards banquet, a business luncheon. You just want to call the catering experts at Seawell's. They've been serving the state with excellent food and service for about 80 years. A little bit longer than Sports Talk has been around, but not that much longer. 803-771-7385, SeawellsCateringSC.com. So a player to watch this season, athlete Caden Whiteside. He's 5'11", 165. He's back in his hometown of Asheville in the mountains of North Carolina after 3 seasons at Fork Union, Virginia. He has plans to come down from the mountaintop to see South Carolina September 5th and Clemson September 12th. It'll be the first game day visit with each school, both recruiting him as a receiver. He can also play cornerback. He says he's very high on both of them. Can't wait to get on the campus. He's been to Clemson for camps, but not for a game. He and receivers coach Tyler Grisham still developing their relationship. He tells him to stay focused, stay locked in, keep getting better every day. He said they got tight around the second time he went to a camp there. They stay in contact like every week. He has not offered, but he's told him that he's his #1 guy. Now, Mike Furry at South Carolina, he's already taken that step. He has offered Whiteside, did that back in the summer. And they've talked a couple of times. He went to camp. He went there for a 7-on-7. He likes Furry a lot. They've talked on the phone a couple of times. He says they're close. He would say he likes South Carolina. He says once he gets on campus, it feels like home, a great spot, hospitality, coaches, coaching staff system. He's also set game day visits with Wake Forest, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Florida State, Florida, Tennessee. Also has offers from Boston College, Missouri, West Virginia, Louisville, and others. He does not have a favorites list yet. He'd like to make his decision this summer. Baseball, infielder, right-handed pitcher, Walker Thomason of Rock Hill High School committed to the Citadel. And in basketball, former Clemson guard Butta Johnson signed as a free agent with Virginia Tech, according to Pete Nakos of On3. That's the recruiting report tonight here on Sports Talk, and it's brought to you by Seawells. Hey, a reminder, anytime you miss Sports Talk Live, you can always find us on our website, on our YouTube channel. Find the whole show on our YouTube channel, Sports Talk Media Network. And, of course, we put the show up in podcast form, and we take the pieces of the show, the various interviews and the like. We put that in podcast form as well. And we host those podcasts at various places, the most popular places where you get podcasts like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And again, of course, you can listen on YouTube. Make sure you sign up and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which has grown immensely, as has our Facebook page. We're on Facebook as well, so make sure you follow our Facebook page as well. Mike Gillespie has been working with us there, the former sports anchor at WOLO in Columbia, been working with our social media stuff and with our Facebook page, and that has really blown up over the last few months. So make sure you check those out as well.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
He's got a great talent for that kind of stuff, obviously being in the TV business all those years. So this came out this afternoon. The Tennessee and Ohio cases, they have now both been stayed in favor of the NCAA. So all the plaintiffs that were previously granted a PI in Tennessee are now currently ineligible. And I guess in Ohio as well. Yeah, so they're all ineligible after this. So whoever those athletes were who went to those states and got the PI, that has now been overruled by another court. This is crazy stuff, man. It's just crazy stuff. From state to state, player to player, conference to conference.
We can't get to this weekend fast enough.
Well, we can't get, I hate to say this, we can't get Congress back in session fast enough.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I know there's more pressing things in the world to deal with, but can they not come together and pass this this law and give the colleges the protection so they can draw up some hard and fast rules that they can live by? They can't live. You can't live this way as an organization. Not a multi-billion-dollar organization that college sports as a whole is. You've got to have rules. You've got to have guidelines. If not, you're going to spin yourself into extinction because there's no control, you know? I mean, as much as Major League Baseball owners, as rich as they are and as much as they used to love to spend money on players, you know they loved it when they put a cap in place. The owners themselves put the cap in place to save themselves from each other. They were eating each other alive.
Mm-hmm. They at least recognize that, though. I'm not so sure that college presidents and athletics directors and the like would actually recognize that they don't trust anybody else, including their own, themselves.
Yeah.
And so somebody has got to step in and fix this problem that they created.
All right. Some text messages here. Our text message line, 803-900-4847. Gamecock Tony from Lancaster, Clemson 27, LSU 24. Book it. Too much hype around LSU. That never is good. And that's coming from Gamecock Tony. Wow. He must know some things that others don't.
Tell you what, if Clemson puts up almost 30 points on LSU, watch out for them.
Yeah. If Clemson beats LSU, if they're good enough to win that game, they might run the table. I mean, I genuinely believe that because their schedule's not difficult.
No.
And if they're good enough to go in on a Saturday night in Lane Kiffin's first game and win that game, that means they're good. That won't be an accident. They won't win that game accidentally.
No, yeah, that's a great point.
From Darryl, will this affect college basketball? How many European pros or players who have signed pro contracts are playing college basketball?
It's a great question.
I thought I read where this doesn't impact the European players.
No, it does. Well, the rule that the SEC put in place, and all the rest of them seemed, with the exception of Big Ten, came out first, and then everybody else has followed suit. But it only referenced the NBA and the G League, so it did not reference any of the international leagues. So maybe you're right; it may not affect those players at all.
From the 803, with the new constitutional carry law in South Carolina, there is nothing illegal about having a handgun in a vehicle with you if 18 years or older and not a felon. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. But you can't have it on campus, I wouldn't think, or you have to have it stored away if you're on a college campus.
Yeah, it has to be in a locked car and in a parking lot. And,
okay.
Yeah, so.
And this is from the 803, couple of notes from him. Kentucky, when Stoops had it rolling consistently, brought in new, older offensive lines, made for a successful season. True. Phil, on the SEC release, they stated they are not allowing G League players either. Yes, yeah. All right, got that. So thank you for that. Thank you for the phone call. So we don't have anybody holding, do we, Plummer? They all drop off?
We do not.
Okay, that's why I went to the text messages. I thought that was the case. Well, first of all, as we wrap things up, let me thank the folks here at Erskine for being great hosts. And thank every school that we visited, all 13. Thank you so much for working with us. It's not easy to get the schedules worked out sometimes. We really, really appreciate it. I hope everybody's enjoyed hearing from the other teams around the state. You know, there are more teams than just the one in Columbia and the one in the upstate. There are more.
Yep. So,
we open football season tomorrow night. How about that? And we'll see you back in Columbia tomorrow night. Have a great one.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The parent company of Facebook and Instagram has reached a settlement in a lawsuit over teen social media addiction.
Meta has agreed to pay $17 billion and add child safety features to its Facebook and Instagram platforms, ending a federal trial in Oakland, California over a lawsuit filed by 29 states over teen social media addiction. 47 states have filed claims. Meta was sued in 2023, states claiming it contributed to the youth mental health crisis by deliberately designing features that get children addicted to its platforms while hiding those features from the public, and that it was routinely collecting data on children under 13 without parents' consent. I'm Donna Warder.
Testimony in the Lindsay Clancy murder trial has concluded.
Clancy is accused of strangling her 3 young children in a case that has drawn attention to postpartum mental health. She's pleaded not guilty by reason of lack of criminal responsibility. A forensic psychiatrist for the defense, Dr. Philip Resnick, testified that Clancy was experiencing postpartum psychosis at the time.
Clancy was frankly psychotic.
A forensic psychiatrist hired by the prosecution, Kirk Heilbrunn, testified that Clancy planned the killings and understood